everybody. Welcome to the Hallmarkies podcast. And we are so excited today. We are going to be talking about everything that we've been reading and catching up. It's going to be so fun. And I am film critic Rachel Wagner, and Bree's here.
Hey, everyone. Happy August.
Yeah. You having a good kind of end to your summer?
I am.
It's
We've been
been
getting like a lot of rain and now it's gone and I'm like, oh God, it's about to get deathly hot.
Yeah, it has been such a roaster of a summer.
Yeah.
It's brutal. And, I'm like, oh my gosh. And it's so stupid. Like I going around to I go to all these movie screenings and all these, seeing all these plays and stuff. And I didn't want to get my AC fixed on my car. And so I was miserable for like 2 months, like this hot box of a car. And then I finally went to get it fixed because I literally had like a heat stroke situation where I was about to pass out. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. I need to do this. And because I was also working this, I did this for June and into July, which was doing these 2 little part-time jobs at the school. And so I was just so busy during the day. So it was hard to get
You
over
weren't
and
thinking
get it
about
fixed.
it. Yeah.
Anyway, so it was just a mess. But then I finally go and get it fixed. And it was like super cheap. It wasn't even expensive. I was like, why do I suffer for 2 months? Because I thought, I'm going to need like a new radiator, or, it's going to be like way expensive. And it wasn't too bad. So just shows, go and get the car
just go get it fixed. Okay. Just get your
suffer.
errands ran.
Do not suffer needlessly.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been brutal. I mean, this summer has been intense.
And it's going so fast,
I
though. It is going
know.
so fast. I'm like, we are going to be prepping for Christmas like
Oh yeah,
next week.
I've already started thinking about it, thinking about I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna die.
People just don't realize as soon as you started like sending us messages about Christmas, all I could think about was like, my God, the editing that woman's gonna have to do. Like that is the part of being a podcaster that I don't think people realize is kind of brutal. Like,
yes, like I of course I want the podcast to be successful, of course, but like I think the main motivation for like really taking off and being like to this next level is like if I could hire an editor, that would be, oh my gosh,
perfect.
It would be my dream. That's my main motivation. So please keep listening, folks, and join the Patreon because I need to get an editor someday. Make my dreams come true. But yeah, it is a lot of work. And yeah, people, because I've had some people say something like, I wish I could get paid for watching television, or talking into a microphone. I'm like, yeah, because that's all it is. But
that's all it is, right?
It's so much more work than that because you have to do all of the work of compiling all of your notes, of compiling all the notes, getting good questions, making sure that everything's all set up with your guests, and it can be quite complicated. Like scheduling.
The prep beforehand is a job in and of itself.
Yeah,
and especially like once word gets around that like you are a podcast that will send questions ahead of time. Like people kind of expect that. And you're like, man, I just did a full day of work. Like the last thing that I want to do right now is like prep questions for you, but I will do it because my reputation precedes me. But yeah, it's like work. And then you do like a fun recording or whatever. And then you're like, now I have to edit it.
Yeah.
I feel like
when you're watching something, you can't just watch it. You got to take like notes and you got to be thoughtful, and otherwise it's not interesting to listen to.
Yeah.
People, it's nice when you can do something like this where we, it's just sort of more casual and chatting. But even this, like you were so good about preparing the notes and helping me in that way. And
guys,
so people have no idea like how much work goes into it.
I wanted to do this with Rachel, so.
yeah. And so anyway, but I'm certainly super grateful and to be able to do it, and I'm looking forward to this next season. I think it's going to be a lot of fun for both fall and the Christmas coming up. It's going to be it'll be our 8th Christmas that we've covered as a pod.
Oh
8, which is crazy.
I feel like we need to do a ranking of Christmas, the seasons overall.
That's not a bad idea, actually. I should talk to Terry about that.
Yeah, like just look at how the seasons overall have grown and changed, and
that's a really good idea. I'll
what
totally
tropes were
talk to...
used most in this season versus this one, and locations. It'd be really interesting to look at that and see.
That would be, that's a great idea. I will talk to Terry
Other
about it.
podcasters don't steal the idea. It's ours.
Ho, ho, ho. We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the Hallmarkies Patreon.
Do you love Hallmarkies podcast, especially at Christmas?
Do you enjoy the holiday previews, recaps, interviews, and bonus episodes?
If the answer is yes, please consider supporting the Hallmarkies Patreon. We need your help to do what we do both during the Christmas season and all year round.
But not only do you help a podcast led by strong, independent women by becoming a Patreon, you get to become a part of the Hallmarkies family.
Starting at only $2 a month as a patron, you will have access to our Facebook Patreon group where we talk about the movies, shows, and more all year.
We also have many monthly patron watch-alongs with guests like Lacey Chabert, Natalie Hall, Paul Campbell, Mary Lou Henner, and more, giving their behind-the-scenes details of their films.
As a patron, you also have the chance to provide input into the podcast and even join us at different tiers.
So this Christmas season, spread some cheer to the Hallmarkies Patreon and become a member today. You won't regret it.
Go to patreon.com/Hallmarkies to learn more.
That's patreon.com/Hallmarkies.
Well, we both love to read. And have you had a chance this summer to get caught up on your reading?
I feel like last time we chatted, I had been just reading like a mad woman. Like I was just reading like crazy. And I'm still reading, but I do feel like it slowed down a bit. I just hit this rhythm where I was like, I just want to sit and watch TV all day. So
well, it's hard when there's the Olympics on.
Yeah.
That has taken up most of my, like, if I have free time, that has taken most of it up by the Olympics. But I've been multitasking, and having the Olympics on in the background while I do notes or I do, like different things. And so at least this last week and change has been Olympics has taken a lot of my time.
I haven't been watching it because like the stuff that I want to watch, I somehow miss. Like I wanted to watch the gymnastics and I want to watch swimming.
Oh, yeah. That was just this last week.
On like TikTok. That's where I've been catching it. So
because Simone is so amazing. Oh my
gosh, those women. Like that is true athleticism, those gymnasts.
You watch her and I realize they have like the springs in the floor and stuff like that. But even so, I swear she's like the first woman who can like fly. Like she goes so high.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
And I just love how I watched one little short video of her while she's been over there, and she's like, I think she was doing like a get ready with me, and she's like, I had therapy this morning, and I was like, I'm just so proud of these athletes who are like, I'm doing therapy, I'm taking care of myself in other ways, because people gave her such a hard time for like dropping out a couple of years ago or whatever, and it's like, no, that's got to be tough on them.
Yeah.
But to see how supportive they are of each other.
It does. It seems like the athletes are in a healthier place. So it makes it more pleasant to watch this year than the last two. And it's also nice because this time it's in Europe as opposed to Asia, which the last two Olympics have been in Asia, which is awesome for them. But like for us in the US, there's like a whole day of delays as opposed to, so it just makes it a little bit harder, to like, whereas being in Paris, it's like 7 hours difference. So it's just not as bad, like to kind of keep up on things. I don't know. It's just nice. Plus we got the exciting news that the Olympics are coming back to Utah. I'm so excited. 2034, they're coming.
Oh my gosh.
And because they were here in 2002. And we were we stood out the Salt Lake Olympics because we're one of the only ones that it was actually like profitable. Like we made money on the Olympics because we had so many volunteers. And we actually, like, all of the infrastructure that we built has all been like used regularly. Because a lot of these Olympic places, they just have these graveyards of these venues that are not used and ever again, or never, or rarely again. But like all for here, like we continue to be a hub of training and competition.
That's awesome.
And so we've been wanting to get the Olympics back for so long in Utah, and it's coming. They finally got approved, and everybody was cheering. It was so exciting.
Yeah. Oh, it's so been good. I've loved seeing, I don't know what it's called in the Olympics, like the track, the running.
Oh yeah, that's starting. That just started yesterday as of recording. The running. And I mean, it's so crazy because one of the 100-meter race, the guy won by 0.005 seconds. I'm like, at what point? I guess there's no point that it's just a tie.
Yeah.
Like that's ridiculous. Like it's a tie. Like it's not.
No, it's 0.0005.
If it gets to the 1,000th, it's not a win. It's a tie.
Yeah.
Give them both a gold. I mean, give me a break. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for Sha'Carri Richardson because it was so tough this the previous Olympics. She had taken some pot because her mother had died, and she was grieving, and it's not allowed, and she knew that, and so but she suffered but it still sucks, that she got banned from the Olympics for that Olympics. So to see her coming back, she already won a silver medal, and I'm really happy for her. Yeah. And so those are the kind of stories I love.
I know they do these videos of her like finishing a race, and the first thing she does is she goes and finds her grandmother sitting up in the stands, and just like, here she comes, and her grandmother's got those big grandma arms open. And it's just like, I lose it. Like, that's her soft spot. Like, this woman is so fast and hardcore. And then she just turns into a little girl as soon as she sees her grandmother. And I just, it's so special. It's so sweet.
That was just rough that was rough. And so, I really admire her. And I'm excited to see. I mean, I like the swimming more than the track, but I love it all. It's so much fun, and I love like getting a chance to watch like really random sports. Yeah, that's my favorite because I'm not a sports.
Dancing is on there now. Love it.
Or like the other day I was watching handball. I'm like, what is this? What is this?
Oh sport? My god, doesn't it look? It looks like basketball. I was like, this looks fun.
Yeah, it is fun, and I was
like, why don't we play this over here in the States?
So Olympics, like I'm not a sports person. I just don't have time for it. And so like the Olympics is this weird moment where I all of a sudden become a sports person. Like, woohoo! Yay!
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm so glad we both caught the handball. I was like, what is this? And why aren't we playing it over here? This was so fun.
Yeah. We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's Factor Meals. Warmer, sunnier days are calling. Fuel up for them with Factor's no prep, no mess meals. Meet your wellness goals in time for summer thanks to the menu of chef-crafted meals with options like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, and Keto. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are dietitian approved and ready to eat in just 2 minutes. So no matter how busy you are, you'll always have time to enjoy nutritious, great tasting meals. Make today the day you kickstart a new healthy routine. What are you waiting for? With 35 different meals and more than 60 add-ons to choose from every week, you'll always have new flavors to explore. Crush your wellness goals this month with dietitian-approved meals and ingredients you can trust. Make your day delicious from breakfast to dessert. Stay fueled with easy, nutritious options. Treat yourself to restaurant-quality meals that feature premium ingredients like filet mignon, shrimp, and blackened salmon. Keep kitchen time to a minimum. Factor meals are ready in 2 minutes. No shopping, prepping, cooking, or cleaning up. Enjoy effortless support for your lifestyle. Choose choose from 6 menu preferences to help you manage calories, maximize protein intake, avoid meat, or simply eat well balanced. Head to factormeals.com/hallmarkies50 and use code hallmarkies50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month. That's code hallmarkies50 at factormeals.com/hallmarkies50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is active. Definitely check out Factor Meals. We know you'll love them. Well, so I really only, since last time we talked, I've read 2 books.
Okay.
I read a little book called Daydreamer by Susie Tate. And this is, I have a crush on my brother's best friend, type story. You see those all the time. But this is, he ended up becoming this he ended up becoming this big name billionaire guy. And he hires her to work for him, and she's like kind of scatterbrained and a daydreamer but cute, and she's still nursing this crush on the big executive. It's her brother's best friend, and it's fun. This is very generic, but it was cute. So I liked that. And then the other one I read is called Beyond Ivy Walls.
Okay.
By Rachel Fordham, and we had Rachel on the podcast. I don't know when this will air versus when the interview will air. I mean, she's been on the show many times, and love her. Rachel, she's great. And this is another lovely book, and it's kind of like an homage to a little bit Beauty and the Beast, a little bit Jane Eyre. It's about this woman who it's set in what the 1880s, I think. It's a store or 1900s, early 1900s, and she basically ends up like squatting at this house through various contrivances, and then the owner surprisingly appears. He's there. And he is this kind of mysterious guy, and he's got all the scars on his face, and he's like a recluse, and but he allows her to stay there, and they start to interact and get to know each other, and there's also this whole thing where the reason why he's come back into town is that he's trying to find his niece. His brother's passed away, and he's trying to find out what happened to his niece. And so there's sort of a mystery kind of element as well. And it was really good. I like both the lead characters. It's very, very romantic. Both of the leads have like a huge heart and soul to them. And it's a pretty long book, but I think it's worth it. I think she writes good characters. I think you care about them. And so I would check it out. If that sounds like something you'd like.
Well, I'll mention 2 that I've read, and I have an honorable mention. So the honorable mention, I did read a cozy mystery recently called In the Company of Witches by Arlie Wallace. Hallmark, if you're listening, you should adapt this series. Witches, small town, bed and breakfast. It was peak cozy. With cozies, the murder happens off the page. So I think it would fit perfectly, and it would give me what I need since you guys took Good Witch away. But yes, it was really good.
What's it called?
It's called In the Company of Witches by Arlie Wallace. The big summer book that I want to talk about is Summer Romance by Annabelle Monaghan. I loved this. I do think I think it's one of those books that you have to be like an over 30 something to appreciate. I think people that read it and read her books and rate them low are like women that haven't hit a certain point in life, to be honest. But like everybody that's like over like 35-ish, love it. And I was like, I wanted to see what the hype was about, because she has like two prior books that are pretty big deals. And so I read this one, and the woman is going through a divorce. This is a best friend's brother romance. The best friend's brother is a lawyer, not a divorce lawyer, but does agree to like go with her during like the mediations with her husband because eventually she starts to feel like something's not right. Like, is he trying to take advantage of me? Like, she went from like career woman to like making herself small, stayed at home, like went from being like an accountant to him taking care of all the bills and stuff like that. And so like he says something that kind of tips her off and she's like, I need somebody to go with me. Like they kind of agreed we won't get lawyers involved, but she's like has this funny feeling. So the brother of the best friend comes with her and like this ends up being their romance. And I don't know, I think it was perfect for summer, guys. So like read it while we're still in the season. But yeah, just like that, seeing that like transition to like finding yourself again, because the hero in this one really serves as a mirror of like the girl you used to be. He's like the girl, like he's loved her for like forever, right? But he's just like, you were so fearless and so smart, like as a teenage girl, like what happened to you? So I thought it was great.
We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the Hallmarkies merch store.
Are you looking for that perfect gift for the postable, hardy, or Hallmarky in your life?
What about getting that t-shirt or hoodie that will help you stand out at your next holiday party?
Now is the time to check out the Hallmarkies merch store.
Full of festive designs by artists like Jessica Miller, Carrie from Hallmark Comics, and more.
You can even have more than just shirts, but totes, cell phone cases, notebooks, mugs, and more.
And it isn't just Hallmark. We have designs for Anna Green Gables, Man from Snowy River, The Nanny, and more.
Every purchase at the merch store goes to help support the podcast and allows us to make the great content you know and love.
There are frequent sales, so go to tpublic.com/stores/Hallmarkies or see the link in the description.
That's tpublic.com/stores/Hallmarkies.
Then one that I finished yesterday is Cinderella in the Spotlight by Sophie Pembroke. Now, this is bonkers, okay? It's bonkers. It is behind closed doors. There's like one scene, it's behind closed doors. But it's a twin swap romance. So Sister Willow shows up on Sister Rowan's doorstep in England. Like, I just found out I'm pregnant. The guy that she's been seeing is total like young playboy guy. She's like, I need a break. I need to figure things out. Will you swap lives with me? Like, you go to New York and be me. Mind you, she's like a fashion model. This sister has completely left that world behind. But out of love for her sister, she does. And this is her romance with the brother of the guy her sister's been dating. He has no idea. I mean, I don't want to spoil it, but it's a good chunk of the book before he realizes.
Does the father of the baby know that this is switched?
No, nobody knows but you and her until like I think I was at like maybe the 55%. And the hero doesn't really know her sister that well, but like the more he gets to know her, like she like makes one of his workers like this beautiful dress to go to this event, and he's like, I didn't know Willow could like make dresses. Like we know she's a model and she's gorgeous, but like we didn't know she had this kind of talent. And so eventually he starts really piecing it together. So it's the first book. The second book is the sisters. I'm not quite ready to read it yet because I'm just like, I'm not really in the secret baby mode at the moment. And like, I just don't know. I don't know if I'm ready, but I really loved this one. So again, that's Cinderella in the Spotlight by Sophie Pembroke. It's a Harlequin romance. And I loved it. I thought it was great. So those are the ones that I've like been my standouts. Besides that, I've just been reading like a bunch of children's books, which have been fantastic, but I'm trying to figure out like what to read to my kids in the first couple of weeks of school. So that's my reading life.
It's weird. It's not on Goodreads. Cinderella in the Spotlight.
Cinderella in the Spotlight by
the Spotlight.
Yeah, in the Spotlight by Sophie Pembroke.
I think you said in the Spotlight. Oh, here it is. Mm-hmm. Oh, that sounds fun. I'm gonna put that on my.
Yes, it is so. Like the conflict is there from the very beginning. You're just like, how is this going to happen?
That is good. That's very good. Know what you've been enjoying this summer. We'd love to hear your reading list and your recommendations. in the comments section. And Bree, where can people find you?
You can find me at Bree Unabashedly on social media and the Categorically Romance podcast.
Great. And you can find me at Rachel's Reviews, all over social media, iTunes, YouTube, and on Rotten Tomatoes, and on Goodreads. So make sure to check that out. And make sure to check out all of our book-related content. We've interviewed tons of authors over the years, including the interview with Rachel Fordham, most recent one. So check that out. And if you are listening on iTunes, please leave your ratings and reviews. We really appreciate that. You can follow us at Hallmarkies Pod and Hallmarkies Podcast, all of our social media. If you are watching on YouTube, please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. We appreciate that so much. We also have our Patreon group and merch store, so check that out. And thanks so much, everybody. We'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.